had taught him to play the game, minus the alcohol, when he was 9, and Jericho had taken to it like a fish to water. He had a steady hand and good aim, and practice makes perfect, as they say. He rarely lost. Savannah bent a little lower. She was trying to distract him. Jericho bit back the grin attempting to spread across his face. He was enjoying himself, and so was she. Savannah had already tipped back 2 shots of tequila after he'd sunk his first 2 quarters. He had a feeling she was celebrating her new life at Westfield as much as he was. He needed to focus. She needed to stand up. Time to turn the tables on her. "What does your family think about your career choice?" No one could flirt while they answered that. Savannah made a face and straightened. "They don't even know where I am." Jericho bounced the quarter off the table as soon as she began to talk. Sunk it. "Drink up," he told her. But her words stuck with him. "Why doesn't your family know where you are?" Why would a woman so intelligent and determined hide from her parents? Everything he'd seen so far, except this drinking game, which was all his fault, had shown her to be a responsible, caring individual. Savannah knocked back the shot, wiped her mouth with the back of her hand, and pursed her lips when she'd swallowed the fiery liquid. "We'd probably better get back before the others notice we're gone, and that we've raided the liquor cabinet." "The Russells won't mind." "The help might." She nodded toward the gleaming dishes piled high with food on the far end of the table, covered and ready to be carried out as soon as the party sat down to dinner. The Russells had hired a local woman to prepare and serve the meal. Mrs. Wood, who wore a Regency-inspired cook's uniform, had bustled out of the kitchen to serve drinks a few minutes ago, but she'd be back any time. "First, I want that kiss." Jericho drank his own shot, placed it back on the table, screwed the cap on the tequila bottle, and tucked it back into the cabinet where they'd found it. He threaded an arm around Savannah's waist, tugged her out of the large kitchen and into a side hall where they wouldn't be seen. He leaned her against the wall, prepared for her to push him away and escape back into the parlor. But Savannah smiled up at him, as if she didn't mind in the slightest. "Why are you hiding from your family?" He braced his feet to either side of her and placed his palms on the wall, caging her in. He couldn't wait for that kiss much longer. Now that he'd let himself think about a woman, his body had unleashed all its pent-up desire for physical companionship. "Not just my family, from my ex-fiancé. I don't love him. I never loved him. My parents do, though. They had this idea about me." She smiled again, but this time it didn't reach her eyes. "That I can be the cement to hold our 2 families together, just like in an old-fashioned novel." She lifted the skirts of her gown and smoothed them back into place. "My family is new money. His family is old money. A match made in heaven." Jericho swallowed and pulled back. He was unprepared for the jealousy that surged through him. She had a fiancé? Even an ex-fiancé was a complication he hadn't looked for, and he found he didn't like the idea of another man hanging around Savannah. Savannah leaned toward him. "I finally came to my senses and left that all behind. I'm free, for the first time in years." She put her hands on his chest. Jericho's libido ratcheted up a notch. The alcohol had warmed him, made him feel a little reckless. "I didn't want any part of the life they were building for me," she went on. "I can't think why I didn't act sooner. It was like I was under a spell. But now I'm here, in Chance Creek. Everything's changed. I'm going to do it. By this time next year, I'll be a concert pianist. No one can stop me." She leaned up on her tiptoes and kissed him. Jericho's instincts took over. There was a soft, warm, lovely woman in his arms, a woman who was kissing him. A woman he intended to marry, ex-fiancé or no ex-fiancé. He kissed her back and tried to shut off the worries that had plagued him these past few months. In 3 short weeks, a reality TV film crew would descend on them to capture every moment of the process of building this community. He couldn't screw up. As his body responded to Savannah's closeness, he suppressed a chuckle. He'd thought the need to marry would be the hardest goal to reach, but maybe it would be the easiest. Savannah shifted in his arms, and those wonderful breasts of hers pressed against his chest. Jericho savored the touch of her mouth on his. Her lips were soft, and when they parted to let him in, his body fired up with a quick, hot desire. He wanted her, whatever the future might hold, and this hallway wasn't nearly private enough. He spotted an open door, linked his arm around Savannah's